All right, my friends, I'm Alexandra Harbushka. I'm super excited to be here with you today as we are going to talk about some fun stuff. So we're going to talk about lube. Yep, lube. So lube, sex, herpes, all this fun stuff. And like I said, this is going to be a great episode. Before I get going, I want to make sure that you are aware about the Life with Herpes community. It is a great place to go if you're like me and have herpes. Like I said, it's never a community I ever wanted to be a part of because I never wanted to have herpes, right? But I have it and I'm excited you're here and we're going to have fun together. So go on and head over to lifewithherpes.com, join, learn, educate, just find a community, and it's really the best way to heal and move on with your life and not let this stupid little virus control your life. Okay, so let's get going about lube. Now, as we all know, lube is an important part of sex, right? If there is no lube and you're having sex, that doesn't feel good. It's not fun. And for people like us with herpes, if there is any trauma to the area or it's super sensitive or, just any abrasion can potentially cause an outbreak. So that is not something we want to do, right? Because we don't want outbreaks. Obviously, that's the last thing we want. So really important to make sure that there is lubricant. So let me break down about lubricants. There's basically 4 types of lube. Who knew, right? There's 4 types of lube you can use. So let me get started and talk about oil-based lube. Oil-based lube is oil-based. It is sometimes, olive oil or coconut oil or whatever oil they want to use, and it feels more. For some people, it feels better. Some people prefer it. I personally prefer it, but it feels more natural. And one of the things about that is, it feels more natural for most people. What else I want to say about that one? The one thing I really want to make sure that you know is if you are using condoms, oil-based lube is not something you can use because what happens is the oil can eat at the condom, and then what's the point of using a condom, right? So it can rip, it can tear, and it can create little tiny holes in there, which then lets all the little heebie-jeebies in. So that's not what you want. So that's an oil-based lube. Then there is a water-based lube that is AKA water-based. There's also other things in it. It is a little bit more, it could be stickier. That's something that people talk about. It is stickier. It is not as natural, but that's what you'd want to use if you are using a condom. So obviously we talk a lot about condoms. We talk about protection, super important. So if you are using condoms, then you're going to want to use a water-based lube. Also with that's kind of similar is a silicone-based lube. Some people do have allergies to silicone or other chemicals, so that may not be the one for you. I personally never used a silicone lube before, so I can't talk about my own personal experience, but also that one is safe as well for latex condoms. So those are the three little types. Now I'm going to go to the 4th type, which would be a spermicide, which would be including the nonoxynol 9. I always love saying that word, nonoxynol 9. Nonoxynol 9 is a spermicide, and you can buy spermicides by itself, or you can buy a spermicide lube. The one thing that I'm going to recommend for you and for me and for people with herpes is the nonoxynol 9 can really irritate the skin for a lot of people. So if you're one of those people, especially since we have herpes, we don't want to irritate. We definitely don't want to get in there. We don't want to create any other extra rash or anything like that. So the spermicide is kind of, I guess I'd use the word more potent, and it can create little issues. So, but it is great if that is your form of birth control. Spermicide is a form of birth control. But really what we're talking about here is lube. So birth control is a whole other topic, but those are really the 4 types that we can use. And I want to tell you my 2 favorites. I have one right here. Just got it from the bedroom. So it's called Woo. This is Bill and I, this is our favorite lube. Love the branding, love what they do. It's absolutely darling. It is organic coconut love oil. I'm sure you've heard me talk about this in the past. This is also great. You can also use it on an outbreak because it is coconut oil, so it's antiseptic, antibacterial. I'm going to read the ingredients right here. It's coconut oil, beeswax. That's I can't pronounce it. Sunflower. It's acacia flower, and there is stevia, and then there's vanilla. So it has so many great things going for you. It's all organic and it's great. So this is our favorite. and it's manufactured actually here in San Diego. It's US made. Highly recommend it. But remember what I mentioned before is if you are using a condom, this is something that you cannot use. So do not use this with a condom. This could be for masturbation if you're all by yourself, or if you and your partner don't use condoms. So this is what we recommend. The other one I do not have on hand. I came unprepared, so I apologize. I am showing up to school without my homework, but it is called Sustain Natural. And if it's something that you've heard of, especially for women, they produce organic tampons, they have organic condoms, and they make an organic water-based lube. So that one is another one that I highly recommend, especially if you're using condoms, because that's going to be super important for A, your protection for condoms, and then B, why not add a little extra lube, because you don't want a rash. We've all done that, right? When you've had sex and like the next day you're like, ooh, that was too rough or something, or there wasn't enough lube. Not a situation we want to be in, because that could potentially cause an outbreak. All right, so below in the show notes and here on YouTube, I do have the links for you to order your own your own lube. Like I said, they're both great. I really recommend them. They're both organic, which is really key, especially as we're moving forward. We definitely don't want more chemicals or anything like that in our bodies that we can't have. A good rule of thumb that I heard from a sex therapist or sex educator, I'm not really quite sure what her exact title is, but she said, don't put anything in your vagina that you wouldn't put in your mouth. So when you think about that, at first it's kind of harsh maybe to hear, but if you think about it, you would never go eat a random lube, right? Because that probably wouldn't make your tummy feel good. So just think about it in that way. You wouldn't want to use any lube that you wouldn't want to eat. For all those extra chemicals, and our sex organs, our genitals, they are really absorbent, and they absorb basically everything that we put them in contact with. So pick the right thing, be careful, use protection, and if you have any questions, let me know. I will have the links below. All right, and like I said, join the Life with Herpes community. It is the best place for us to grow and learn and heal and just continue to move through life and inspire one another. So go to lifewithherpes.com, join the membership. It's awesome. Cannot wait to see you in the secret society, and I'll see you in the next episode.